Hi everyone, it's Kiki with Sadhana Health and Wellness. Today I want to talk about the problem when practicing devotion when you're a yogi. Now, depending on what path that you're on, devotion may be key to your practice or the path that you're on. Um, I've been studying a couple of different paths and practices for meditation, and devotion is not something that has been part of just how I've lived my life. Let me give you some background. I did come from a Baptist community, a Baptist household. And growing up, when I would see hypocrisy, either in the church or in the community, people were saying that they were Christian, but they were doing the very opposite of it. Even at a young age, I didn't really care for that type of behavior, and it was hard for me to sort of bond with my Baptist roots and with religion and a belief in God or a higher power, because the leaders that they're saying one thing but they're doing something else. And as I progressed and got older, I didn't frequent going to church. Every now and then I'd go to a church function if I was invited. I loved the sense of community. I loved just the music and the food and the gathering and almost the festive part of it, the ritual. But the actual feeling of devotion and a connection to a higher power just did not stick with me. So later on, in my 20s, I came across this cult. It was just a new wave, new agey group of people that they were amazing. And just like everyone else, they were just trying to find their way through life. But what I got from being with this organization, it was called Trobe, the Realization of Being. With Trobe, they taught that you could believe in whatever you want as long as you believed in something. Believing in something can help you get through anything, the hard parts of being alive on this planet. So what they taught me was to believe in myself. At least that's what I got from it. Because again, I didn't believe in God or a higher power. I did pick up the concept of this universe, of this collective consciousness, this entity that was so great and outside of us, that was both a destructive force and a creative force. And I could believe in the universe because I could see that in the flowers blooming and the seasons changing, and that was something solid. So I had more of a scientific view of creation, as opposed to just maybe a blind faith that those that are in organized religions prescribe to. So the problem with believing in myself was I still had programs and behaviors and ways of thinking, and my actions would be contradictory to believing in myself. So I would fall back into these destructive patterns and self-sabotage and depression. And even knowing what I knew, even studying on a regular basis with this group of people, I still didn't dive deep enough to understand what it really meant to devote myself to myself and to my self-healing. So here we are, years later, and I am meditating. Okay, so I'm meditating, and I hear, sometimes you get these wonderful flashes of insight. And whether that's you or it's higher power, I mean, if it's coming from a place of goodness, well, hey, I'm going to let you make that decision. But while meditating, I get this flash, and it says to me, well, in order to love me, in order to love others, you must first love yourself. Now, I've never thought about it. That's, I guess, why it's called a flash of insight, right? In order to love me, in order to love others, you must love yourself. Now, I've been plugging away at changing my life, changing all my patterns and behaviors, teaching my students to release their burdens and learn how to listen to their inner voice. And a lot of it is we do so much. We do the asanas, we do meditation, we do the yamas and the niyamas, and we think about how we should treat other people. And honestly, one of the hardest things for me has been my patience and compassion with people. You can get through anything on this planet, right? We can deal with diseases, we can deal with losing our money, we can deal with losing family members, there's a whole host of things that we can overcome. But the struggle is day to day life with people, because people are just errant. They'll do whatever. You don't know what they're gonna do. They'll be good to you one minute, the next minute, they'll be mean, or they do evil things, and things that we try to rationalize. But we're an evolved animal. Animals do stuff on instinct. Humans do things out of maliciousness, or because they've got damage or patterns. And so having this evolved brain makes us something that is incredibly beautiful and incredibly scary. So I tend to have love and compassion for the people that I know and those closest to me and those that I view as innocents. But sometimes, we get caught up. I mean, you've been in line, you've been at the checkup line, and that overworked clerk just looks at you like she's just looking right through you, and you just get the barest hello, goodbye, no connection, no love. And you try to have compassion that this person's life is hard, and it's easy to say, well, she shouldn't be working that job if she can't. And maybe you've walked in her shoes. Maybe you've been super clerk, and you greeted everyone with a smile, and you were the most personable. But that person may not have gotten to that point yet. That person may not be going through, or could be going through, the worst in their life, and it's all they can do just to sit there and help each person that comes through that line. So we have to think about those things, because we just want to go in, have an interaction, check out, get our groceries, and go home and have dinner. But there's someone who gives us the worst energy, and that may or may not ruin our day. And we get in there and we're like, gosh, can you believe her? And then we gossip and feel great about ourselves that we're so enlightened. But that's where compassion and love comes in. And honestly, I can say I've been one of those people who, when someone has gotten on my nerves and I've tried and I've struggled, it's all I can do to either not snap back or be all Karen-ish. I need to speak to a manager, or to just let stuff slide. So in meditation, where I'm trying to learn this art of devotion to deepen my spirituality, and I hear this message: to love me and to love others, you must love yourself. Now, I've never thought about it that I don't love myself. Again, I meditate, I eat right, I do the things that I show to myself that I love me, pampering myself, make sure, if it feels good to do my hair and nails, or to go shopping, or to watch TV, and to rest and give my mind, body, and spirit what it needs. But I thought about it, and it's like, when do I say to myself, hey, Kiki, you're a beautiful person. Your skin is glowing today. I love you. I love the person that you are. I love that you give to your friends and your family, and that you do care about people despite the times where you may not have been compassionate, or despite the times where you may have thought negatively about a person, or gossiped, or done something that was not spiritually, pleasing, or in the right way, or in the right path. You're a human being. We all make mistakes, and we all have patterns that we need to break if we want to be better people. But to not be hard on yourself and acknowledge that, you are a reflection of the spirit. You are a reflection of the universe, a reflection of cosmic consciousness, and it is light and it is beautiful. And to acknowledge that love. So when you're thinking about, or you're praying and you're doing affirmations, and you're trying to focus and learn devotion on this entity that you may or may not believe in, you have to think about loving yourself, because that's where it starts. If you think of creation or the creator as just some entity, or you're trying to fight against what you may have been brought up to learn, and your idea of God or the creator could be different. Each religion has their own. Find something that comforts you, even if it's just yourself. Just love and believe that you are taken care of and that you are supported. And it just kind of blew my mind, because I'm like, I don't speak to myself that way. I just, okay, there I am. I'm getting up. I'm going to go do yoga. Okay, there I am. I'm going to meditate. Okay, there I am. And I'm trying to pray and to focus on this entity, and to say that I love you, and to find this heartfelt devotion when it's hard, because I don't know, or I may not be sure whom I'm praying to or what I'm praying to. But when you start with yourself, you are a reflection of all of that. So the problem that I was getting at when I first started was, oftentimes we just go through the motions of devotion, but you have to really think about how deep it is that you're willing to go, and how deep your devotion is. If you're already, connected to spirit, and you're already feeling that love and devotion, that's amazing and that's wonderful. If you grew up in a household where it was easy for you to feel that love and devotion for spirit, that's amazing. But for those of us who have fought it, or we don't understand it, or it's all we can do just to get by, start with yourself. Start with telling yourself how amazing and beautiful you are, not in a narcissistic or vain way, not in some self-centered way, but to acknowledge that you are actually a reflection of the spirit. You are an individualized walking representation of spirit, of light, of the universe, of God, of Allah, of whomever that you believe in. To be here is just a wonderful gift of grace. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share. I get some of these insights, and I want to share them, because, it's like we're only here to learn once in this particular body. We're only here this one time. As this individual, we only have so long to learn these lessons. And hopefully this is something that someone needed to hear. As you go about your day, I hope that you are happy, healthy, and blessed. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. Thank you.